Mindy, you were pulled into a book. And Zlobs, Morgan, and Darby, the three of you followed Mindy into that book because according to Wax Mindy, who was the one that trapped Mindy in that book, the only way to get her out is if the three of you go in. So the book you are in is, as a reminder, the Scorpion Saga, Book 3, Part 2, The Red Sand Conspiracy, A Hero Rises from the Dunes by Jan Cole. So we're going to start very quickly with Darby, Morgan, and Zlobs, because the three of you at least know the name of this book. What I need from each of you is to roll 2d6 plus sharp to see if you've actually read this book. Oh. And let me tell you what the results will be. On a full success, you get to introduce a helpful character. On a partial success, you get to introduce an unhelpful character. And on a failure, the world becomes more dangerous. The question from Mindy.
Oh, do you want me to roll?
No. You are not entirely sure you're in a book yet, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's been a confusing morning or night or however long
it's been a busy week this morning. So
yeah, it sure has.
Cool. All right. What did everybody get? Let's start with Darby.
10.
Wow. All right. Full success. You get to introduce a helpful character. I'll give you a choice. Someone named the Dust Sage, who's a healer, or a defector from the bad guys.
Oh, the Dust Sage.
The Dust Sage.
And there's Sandcat. Can there be a Sandcat?
There already is a Sandcat. Perfect. Oh, yep. All right. A plus. A plus work from the chat in terms of these names. Perfect. All right. Okay. Morgan, what'd you get?
6.
Okay. This desert's going to have one of three bad things. Do you want to choose or do you want it to be a surprise?
Oh, I want to choose.
All right. Your choice will be between Skullbirds or something called the Big Walker.
Oh, what a choice. I'm going to say the Skullbirds.
Skullbirds, okay. And Zlobs.
I get a 13.
Whoa!
Okay.
Can you believe Zlobs has read a book?
This is astounding.
He's read the whole series, I'm guessing.
It's the only books he reads.
Well,
this is Zlobs' favorite book.
Yeah, Zlobs, with a 13.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you something off menu. For one, you know how this book ends, and let me tell you how it ends. The book ends with a meeting at the Impossible Spring between the Hunter Pack and the Red Sand Society's leader. That is how this book ends. You know that. It was an emotionally evocative scene.
I cry every time.
As well you should. So you get that. The other thing you get on the 13, once during this session, you get a plot twist.
Oh.
What does that mean?
That means that at any given point, you can interrupt my narration and tell me something absolutely truthful that's about to happen.
Oh my god.
This is my
the most powerful thing that's ever happened.
Now, Zlobs, the reason why you have such power is because you have read, should we say, all of these books?
Oh yeah, the saga, the 20 book saga.
Yeah, there are just so many, and they're all broken out into parts. But yeah, so you're all in the desert, and Zlobs is recounting in shocking detail the factions and the characters and all the stuff going on and all of that. As Zlobs is doing that, let's switch to Mindy. Mindy, you are currently surrounded by a group of what could best be described as very themed and costumed desert raiders led by a hunky young adult with dark eyes. Your guess, adult's too generous of a word. He's maybe 16. Wearing this like big kind of necklace crown thing. And he's just looking at you. You are surrounded by all of these raiders. And he kind of takes a step forward rather dramatically, like wind catches his hair at just the right moment. Well, I think you're coming with us.
And well, you see, where would that be? And I'm only asking, not because you don't look like lovely folks, but I do have school on Monday, so I don't think I should go too far. I have a Nana waiting for me at home and a bully waiting for me at school. So I'm sorry, what was your name?
Home.
Home.
School.
It's a
Must be nice. I was robbed of these things.
I'm so sorry to hear that. My name is Mindy.
Drake Fireheart, leader of the Hunter Pack.
So nice to meet you. This Hunter Pack, I don't suppose you, what do you find yourselves hunting on this lovely day? Surely not.
The time for talk has passed.
Oh.
Now
already?
is the time to haul cargo.
I feel that we're just getting to know each other.
Two of the raiders walk up to you, and they're about to tie your wrists together and throw you over the back of a motorcycle.
Oh, is that necessary? Actually, I get car sick if I'm not riding right side up.
They do so unless you want to try to stop them from doing so in some way.
If they don't care, they don't seem to pay much attention to my vocal complaints, and now is not the time for me to get physical, so I am going to just sort of go along for now, but mentally I'm observing mentally what's happening around me and trying to keep track of where we're headed on the motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. So sure enough, your wrists are tied. You're kind of plopped onto the back of a motorcycle. All of these motorcycles are very gratuitously decorated with like spikes in weird places, and they look inconvenient to ride. There's like cow skulls on the front and things like that. You are kind of nestled on the back of like a cargo bike amongst like a pile of like boxes and stuff wrapped in cloth. It's very disorienting and making you quite car sick, frankly. So all of you are kind of driving in a caravan. You are in some degree of danger, you think.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah. Despite that, though, your mind, almost on a loop, is constantly playing again and again. I have a secret. I need to write it down. I have a secret. I need to write it down.
It's especially uncomfortable now that my wrists are tied.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you kind of are zipping through the desert. for some length of time. 2d6 plus sharp.
Okay.
You fail.
Right.
You don't know why, but you hear shouting up ahead, like over the sound of engines. The anti-hero voice of Drake Fireheart is heard over the roar of the engines as he says, blood, rock, peel off, go right, the rest go left. And sure enough, like 2 of the bikes split off and the other like 4 or 5, kind of travel in one direction. You pick up speed. You're kind of getting like knocked and bumped around. 2d6 plus tough, which you fail. You take 1 harm. Various things on the bike fall off and kind of smash into you. And you can see a little better. The folks on the bikes ahead of you are like tossing cargo now. They're like ripping stuff off their bikes to go faster.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm hoping that I'm going to be cargo that gets tossed off or not. It seems like a bad situation either way. I'm going to be honest, this whole situation, I've done some observing now, and it does seem that I am in just sort of a deep mode of disaster. Yes.
Like your brain, which is like a giant computer at times, is logging all this information, but the thing that's not happening is you're not connecting stuff together. You're like, oh, this is bad. Oh, that is bad. Oh, he's wearing a leather jacket. Oh, this person's wearing that. Oh, Drake Fireheart, where's that name sound familiar? But like the connections are just not happening.
No.
And it is quite disorienting. So yeah, you are kind of zipping through the desert. You turn and look at the other 2 bikes that have like peeled off into the distance. They're starting to like climb a dune, and just as one of them crests over the top, a gigantic, stinger shoots out from the ground, stabs through one of the motorcycles, hurling one of these hunter pack raiders off the bike and 20 feet through the air. Mm-hmm. You didn't really know what the heck it was at first. It just looked like a really fast-moving tree trunk that was sharpened at the end, and that's troubling. And then all of a sudden, sure enough, a scorpion the size of a van shambles out of the sand and starts chasing the other one. You, of course, hear Drake Fireheart say, "Bike spikers!" And, a pair appear in front of all of you. You start kind of scattering. A couple of the other bikers fall off. Things look to be bad. Let's switch.
Morgan, okay, it's very simple. You like politics. There's the Hunter Pack, and then the Red Sand Society, and that's the focus in this book. I know there's the university, there's the Emerald Coalition, and many more.
What? I still don't understand who's the good guy and who is the bad guy.
Oh, no one's good. Mm-mm. No one's bad. It's morally gray.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Then who do you root for?
The attractive protagonists.
Yeah.
But isn't one of them aligned to the Red Sand Society?
In the first 3 books, yes, but then they switch. Morgan is very compelling.
Morgan and Darby, frankly, I'm not telling you how to feel. However, Morgan, as an elected official, the politics seem bananas. And Darby, as a writer, you have no idea about character motivation.
Mm-mm.
It seems like people are working actively against their best interests sometimes.
Yeah, in my copy, I've sometimes written in the margins, like things that I think might be motivating the character, some like extra backstory that I think ties up some of the loose ends, but I don't think that's really actually in the spirit of the book.
Yeah, you realize that your notes are making more sense of stuff that probably wouldn't make sense otherwise. There's like a lot of headcanon holding this story together for you. But yeah, sure enough, you're all kind of making your way through the desert. I think it's about time to investigate a mystery, since you are here trying to track down Mindy. So whoever's feeling lucky, give me an investigate a mystery.
I want to help out.
Yeah, how are you going to help?
My encyclopedic knowledge.
That makes a ton of sense. So Zlobs, let's have you roll it first to help out. That's going to be 2d6 plus cool.
It sure is. 11.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Darby, are you going to roll?
Yeah, I'll roll.
Yeah, 2d6 plus sharp plus 1.
Oh,
because
that's going to...
Zlobs knows everything.
So with Zlobs and mine, it'll be a 13.
All right. Investigate a mystery. So,
Rump.
yeah,
Rump.
yeah, things might be a little rompy today. All right. So 2d6 plus sharp on a 12 for investigate a mystery. You can ask one question precisely as you want it, or 2 questions from investigate a mystery.
I'm gonna actually go with ones from the list because I think it's gonna maybe get us more information. Where did it go?
The it presumably is Mindy, I assume. You can 100% follow Mindy's trail.
Nice.
Thankfully, you kind of materialized in the world very close to where she was. And with an almost, Zlobs-esque level of situational awareness, helped by the fact that Zlobs is 2 feet behind you, just constantly spitting lore.
He has not stopped talking.
Yeah, it's like, okay, all right, here... Motorcycles come in. That must be the Hunter Pack. She probably met Drake Fireheart.
Yeah.
Looks like there wasn't a struggle, which means she probably went along willingly, but probably as cargo. And yep, looks like 7 of them headed off that way. And you will absolutely, positively be able to catch up with Mindy at some point. 100%.
Awesome.
Why do you?
Any other question?
Then
What was that? Morgan? Oh, sorry.
I said, why do you read these Zlobs?
Why does anyone read anything? They're fun. Do you know how I learned to be an award-winning campaign manager or a campaign-winning campaign manager? From these book series. I modeled myself off the person who got the president of the Remains elected, Morgan. That's evidence. That's proof. Proof in the pudding. The pudding was a book.
I have so many concerns, but sorry.
Why? What? No. Lay them out, and I will assuage them. I learned that word from this book series too.
We'll talk about it later, Zlobs.
Okay.
What here is not what it seems.
Well, you are 100% being watched. And not just being watched, you're being watched by someone that has magically hidden themselves. And on top of that, they are right over there.
No. Okay. Morgan, Zlobs. We're going to keep following the trail, but there's someone watching us. And they've hidden themselves magically right over there.
Ooh, can I ask my free question?
Yeah, sure.
All right. What magic was done here?
Ooh. So let me tell you why this is a little strange. You are in a work of fiction right now, meaning like the rules of physics don't necessarily apply here, and the rules of like magical physics. Like if you were to, this would be the equivalent of you're used to learn a book. This is the equivalent of learning a spell from like a 7-year-old with a crayon writing fire in big letters. The magic being used here is dust magic, which by knowing the name, you already know how it works.
Yeah. Darby, I've got it handled. I've got a track on it. So
Okay.
I'll follow your lead.
Yeah, you, Morgan, because of the incredibly high rolls and the fact that you know what this is, you are going to get a +1 to whatever action you choose to deal with this dust sage, which you also somehow know that's what they call themselves. Like, it's obvious that's what they call themselves.
Yeah, well, Zlobs also said dust sage like a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's sticking. It's sticking. So sure enough, you are tracking for quite a while these motorcycle tracks.
I have my wings up, shading Zlobs and Morgan as we walk, so they don't get too sunburned.
Yeah, which is very helpful. But it is hot and dry and blustery and sandy, and you're following motorcycle tracks. You get to a point where a couple of the tracks split off, and realize that the tracks keep going. You've been walking now for a while. You don't really know how long, because it's a work of fiction. Like, if any of you are wearing watches or carrying phones, they are not giving you the right time. You know that the dust sage is keeping an eye on you still, is probably 30 or 40 feet away.
Morgan.
Zlobs.
Morgan.
Zlobs.
Morgan.
Yes.
I know this happened a lot later in the series, but you need to become a dust sage. I feel like it's going to be easy for you. I would love for you to conjure some dust cycles for us to ride, because this is taking forever. And it's so cool. It just it creates a little tornado and boom, you get a motorcycle that runs on dust.
Zlobs,
yeah?
It's a fictional spell. I can't actually do a fictional spell.
Are your spells fictional?
Zlobs!
Aren't they?
Oh,
I mean, they're created. Someone wrote them down and created them. Yeah.
It's
so
different here.
It's probably easier. Just try it. Just try it.
Fine. I'll engage in your weird fantasy.
Hold on. I take out like a blanket and I tie like a cape around her and I style her hair just like in like the book covers with like giant big poofy spike.
You also know the oath that Morgan must recite to become a dust sage.
Yep. Dust to dust.
Dust to dust.
Magic to magic.
Magic to magic.
With this,
I
blast off. Say it. You have to say it.
I blast off.
2d6 plus weird.
I hope she meant it enough.
8.
All right, partial success. Despite the fact that this whole thing is anathema to you as both an elected official and a sorcerer. You just kind of dig down into the magic of the world, and sure enough, the wind starts blowing, the sand starts rising, and dust cycles appear from the desert.
I told you.
All right.
The drawback, of course, is that they are going to only get you as far as where Mindy is currently. They can't go any further. So once these things, so eventually they're going to fall apart. So sure enough, dust cycles have formed, and even though, Morgan, you're looking at them, it's still like, this is gross and weird. And it's at this moment that a figure that was invisible becomes visible in another gust of sand, and with a dramatic step forward, a woman with like aggressively multicolored eyes kind of walks forward, expecting to scare you, but the three of you are looking directly at her because you know that's where the dust sage would be. And Zlobs, it's kind of like meeting a celebrity. That is dust sage Trinity Winch.
Oh, I faint. Oh, plop. It's a big thing of dust.
You have the gift.
The gift?
The gift of dust.
The gift of dust.
She has a gift.
Okay. Yay. Okay, so we're trying to... What's your name again?
This is the
Trinity
dust
Winch.
Trinity Winch.
Trinity
Of
Winch.
the Order of the Dust Sages.
Of the Order of the Dust Sages.
Hi, I'm Woodstock, president of Somerville Magnet School. We're trying to...
She executes a weird salute? Ish? You don't know. It's very dramatic looking.
I performed the same thing while on my back on the ground.
Precisely, Zlobs. It's perfect.
Great. Don't mind him. So, well, I guess maybe that's impressive. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not taking this seriously enough. Trinity Witch, we're trying to find our friend. We think they may be lost here. O'Darcy believes... This is my friend O'Darcy. O'Darcy believes that she may have been captured by someone named Dragonheart or Fireheart or...
She definitely was.
He who threw it all away.
That's right.
You are looking for a friend, Sage Woodstock, but you have already found one in Trinity Winch.
Yeah.
I would like to bring you to my patron, my sponsor, and my leader. She can help you.
Okay.
Well, it looks like the time to talk is over. It's time to haul cargo.
Zlobs, you wait for dramatic effect. Darby and Morgan do not really react the way you want, but Trinity Winch, like back ramrod straight, gives you a knowing nod. Okay, so you have a choice. I leave this up to the group. You can either, and Trinity Winch will follow you one way or the other. You can either go and try to track down the Hunter Pack led by Drake Fireheart, or go in essentially the opposite direction to whoever Trinity Winch's leader is.
I'm gonna ask Zlobs. What would you do?
Both are great options.
Zlobs, you know that Trinity Winch's leader is Amor de Beauty, leader of the Red Sand Society.
Oh, I have such a crush.
Why are you blushing, Zlobs?
Because I have such a crush. I just said it. I mean,
Sure.
she also knows about dust angels. I feel like that would really help Darby out if you want to ascend, which is pretty cool in this world. I feel like you could do it.
I
When
could.
sh-
That might take more than. I mean, we only have this one book to be in.
I mean,
Do you think I could do it by the end of book 3?
Absolutely. Oh my God. You're refusing the call. It's a comic. It's a hero's journey.
Wench, take us to your leader.
It'll be my pleasure. She summons her own dust cycle, and the four of you haul cargo through the desert towards the secret hideout of the Red Sand Society. We switch back to Mindy Mathers.
I'm not having a good time.
You are having a terrible time.
Oh my God.
Mindy, some time has passed. What has happened during that time is up to you.
Oh, it's just been a whole lot of plot out here.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild. A lot of exposition. You've been in combat. You've
Yeah.
been in combat where your life is on the line.
Yeah.
But never have you heard so much exposition during combat before.
There's a lot of information kind of being offered up inorganically at all times.
Yeah, there's like
How
you
else do
don't
get it?
you don't get it. Like the two of the raiders are having some kind of conversation while like simultaneously like throwing a spear back and forth and like stabbing a giant scorpion. But there might be something going on between them, and you're wondering where their priorities are. Drake Fireheart has been engaged in like a Gilgamesh-esque poem of his own exploits while executing a series of dazzling maneuvers that don't appear to be doing anything to the these giant scorpions. So here's the question for you. Unless you can actively find a way to help, the Hunter Pack are going to be defeated by the Bike Spiders. The only way you could do that would be to write down the secret. If not, that's fine too. Your choice.
That's the only way. I was about to get creative.
Oh, okay. What would you like to do?
Do you want to hear it?
I do.
Well, I was thinking that I can't really use any of my skills or like be smart or probably cause a lot of harm, but I can, without any skill or prerequisites or probably without rolling, just do a lot of grunt work. You know, like I can throw people their weapons if they're close by. I can, keep the bikes maintained to a level of a layperson's knowledge. And I could carry heavy things to the amount of strength that does not, exceed what a person would need training to do.
So you're helping them out.
I would say, no, I don't think I would be helping them out. I'm more of just like, I'm just sort of I'm just laboring really for them.
Okay. So the thing
Unskilled.
is, you have not been able to kind of work your hands out of the ropes. If you would have tried to have convinced someone to let you out, you would have failed.
Yeah.
So, okay, let us amend your options.
Oh.
You can try to help, and we'll see what happens. Or you can write down the secret and quiet your mind and be actively involved in the battle.
This is a battle that I feel like is lasting many of my lifetimes. I'm going to try to help and see what happens. I'm really going to do my very best
Okay.
to help in the state that I'm in.
The battle does not go well.
Oh, okay.
Your helping will do one thing, and I'll tell you what that is. The hunter pack, like the 2 hunter pack members that were like talking to each other while fighting and maybe sorting out some kind of relationship tension, are pretty swiftly cut down by one of the bike spikers. They kind of go slamming into the sand and tumbling down a hill, grievously, maybe even mortally injured. Drake Fireheart, who is, as he is fighting, is now kind of screaming in meter about how much he hates his father.
This guy has a lot of baggage. And he's making it everybody's business out here.
Yeah, he is not holding any of it back. Like his laundry is on the street. He is at one point like circling one of the bike spikers on his motorcycle. Like he's throwing spears at it. He pulls out this like weird blunderbuss looking thing and shoots at it. He sees the other hunter pack members get cut down. And he looks at you and he says, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not going to let someone die with their arms bound. He runs up to you, after kind of slamming his motorcycle into one of the bike spikers, kind of stunning it for a second.
I'm sorry, his what?
Technically, his is a motorcycle.
Carry on.
Mm-hmm. So he kind of slams it into it, kind of the bike spikers all turned around. And he runs up to you and pulls forth a unbelievably expensive looking knife and slices kind of the cords binding your wrist immediately before being impaled through the stomach with a scorpion stinger.
Oh.
No. Oh, I can fix this. I carry a first aid kit. Oh, God.
2d6 plus cool.
I have my hands untied.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all the way through him?
Yeah, it went through the back, out the front.
Oh, God. Does it look like he's dying?
He has started to monologue.
Oh, no. Meta question, I still haven't figured out I'm in a book, right? This is a real person.
Your brain is not making connections. This is just an incredibly dramatic young man.
Just a dramatic young man dying in front of me. Okay, I'm going to do 2 things very, very quickly, and I'm going to do 2 things very quickly. I'm going to take out my notebook and I'm going to write down the date.
You write the exact date and year that 20% of the United States will be destroyed. And close your book.
Okay.
A noise in your mind that you did not even realize it was there suddenly goes away. And all the little parts of your brain start connecting. Whew. Okay, yeah, there's a dying man in front of you.
Okay, I shake off any thoughts of the date because someone's dying in front of me, and I'm not going to think about the date. I'm not going to think about the date anymore because it's in my notebook, and I'm also not going to throw up.
Yep.
I am going to try and save this person.
All right, give me a 2d6 plus Cool, because this is definitely act under pressure. I will give you a +1 because you have your first aid kit and your mind is calm.
I have my first aid kit. My mind is calm. And I am just I'm gonna, at least I get to roll. Good. Excellent. Yes. 3. Well, no. 4. So glad I sacrificed 20% of the United States. I rolled a 4 trying to save him.
He kind of leans up. There is, he's covered in like blood and lacerations and stuff, though. His face, oddly, still perfect. Little trickle of blood coming from this way, and then giant spike coming out of his stomach. I dreamed a dream of a free desert.
Okay.
He looks around. The other Hunter Pack members are dead, dying, vanished. You don't know.
Does he look like the light is leaving his eyes?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got to go in there. I've got to go into his mind. I have to sort of just collect all the important stuff. Mainly, I am looking for what his plan was here in the desert, what his mission was, and then hopefully at least I can sort of finish any, unfinished business he had here.
2d6 plus weird, please.
Okay. Okay, 8.
Partial success. Okay. You can learn about his mission, or you could learn a big secret about him.
Oh, God. I can learn about his mission, or I can learn a big secret about him.
In the business, we call those spoilers.
Are there other of the bikers around, other of his posse?
Yeah, if you want there to be, there's at least one that is probably alive and trapped under a bike.
Okay. I'll take one. I'll take as many as there are with working vehicles. And I will also take, I'll take his secret.
Sure. One thing becomes immediately apparent to you. Drake Fireheart has thoughts, but not a mind. You don't think there's anything beyond there except for what could best be described as pages and pages of dialogue.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Have I ever seen anything like that before or felt anything like that before?
No. It may dawn on you why this might be, but not yet.
That doesn't feel familiar.
Yeah, no, this is...
Strange.
It's strange. Like, you've seen things that have, like, moved around without souls or brains, or, like, robots freak you out justifiably, or, like, wax versions of people freak you out. This is different. This is, like... You're talking to, like, a Teddy Ruxpin right now. And here's his secret. Drake Fireheart is a prince, and he left his kingdom on the day of his rising to crown prince, because he learned that there was a prophecy that he would be killed by his father, the king, before rising to the throne.
Well, unless this scorpion was his father, he can rest easy, knowing that prophecy did not come to pass.
Yes. And so he's like, he's lamenting life lost and saying something about, if only fate did not keep us apart, my Amor. He pulls the knife like from his belt, or no, it was in his hand, and he hands it to you. You take this. I don't know what else there is. I cannot believe it ended.
Oh no. Oh boy, this is really not how I was hoping events would unfold. What did he hand me?
He handed you a knife that
Oh good, a knife.
And you can remember through his memory when he received this knife. Mm-hmm. Which is weird because you don't remember memories or images or the voice of his father or the warmth of his father's hand when he handed him the knife, nothing like that. You just remember literally lines of dialogue he said, which thankfully were full of exposition that Zlobs you would recognize from book 2, part 1. Mm-hmm. It's him saying, I will take this knife and with it I will defend the lands of my father against the encroaching desert, and so on and so. It's a whole big thing. Okay. But yeah, this is a badge of office. Is it
bigger than my knife?
No. This thing is like a ceremonial knife that's like your big knife is like butcher's knife or larger. This is like a really nice looking steak knife, only like encrusted with jewels. And razor sharp.
Okay.
It would do as much damage as your big knife, by the way.
I will take it and I will brandish it before the other members of his troop.
The 1 or 2 remaining look up at you and say simultaneously, almost too simultaneously, you are the leader of the Hunter Pack. You are the leader of the Hunter Pack. And you then begin to tend to them.
Yes.
Let's switch back.
Okay.
Okay. Darby, Morgan, Zlobs, the 3 of you are on your dust cycles, and you make it all the way to like a big stone maze rising out of the desert, which seems very out of place. You don't know logistically how someone could have built a giant edifice like this in the middle of the desert, but sure enough, it's there, looking imposing. The Dust Sage winds you through all of it. Mercifully, you are not in there long. Like, the maze doubles back on itself. You see skeletons arranged in here, old equipment, things like that. Also, unrelated chat. Thank you, Supreme Lord Ender. Mindy, on your sheet, write the knife of the Hunter King, and it has the same stats as your big knife.
I got it. Knife of the Hunter King added to my equipment.
The knife. Capital
the
T.
Capital T. Yeah.
H-E. Knife of the Hunter King.
So the Dust Sage is regaling you with tales of the leader of the Red Sand Society, which, Zlobs, you already know literally verbatim. Trinity Winch is kind of telling these grand narratives of Amour de Beauty, and it's very exciting for everybody. And sure enough, you get to the middle of this maze, this giant maze, and there's like a little town in here of like tents of various sizes. Walking out of the largest tent is, someone giving off a big protagonist vibe. a woman with protagonist-looking hair, big sand goggles holding her hair back, this like perfectly cut, long, sweeping jacket, the bandolier of pistols like on a sash, a big sash. She's carrying a cutlass. She walks up. There's like a little kid that has fallen down and like he's rubbing his knee. She like walks up to him and kneels and like puts a hand on his knee and looks at him knowingly, and then gets up. She exchanges some words with some of her loyal retainers, and then walks up to Trinity Winch, and Trinity says, "My leader, my heart." And Amor de Beauty kind of raises a hand. Please, please. Now is not the time for formalities, especially when you've brought guests.
I put my hand on my heart and bow.
I hold out my hand to handshake. Hi, I'm Morgan.
She shakes
So
it.
cringy.
What? That's how we do it.
That's what the Red Sand Society does.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. Fist to chest.
Mm-hmm.
She does the same.
To your heart.
To your heart.
You've come quite a way to find me. From so far away, in fact, that I do not know who you are or what faction you represent. I see you not wearing the colors of Emerald. Nor are you hunters.
We represent no faction, only ourselves.
We grow ourselves. We are wildflowers.
Ah, that which blooms beyond the reaches of this desert.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
She walks up to you and like grabs you by the shoulders, Zlobs, and looks you in the eye and says, "This is an auspicious day.
For us both. And for our families. And our ancestors.
And our ancestors.
And our hearts.
And our hearts." You are treated to fruit and water, both of which should not be here. And yeah, you are you are now guests of Amor de Beauty.
Zlobs.
Yeah.
This is the Red Sand Society, right?
Is it? No.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's that.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I'm gonna start talking politics.
Good. Please do. I hand Morgan a primer with lists of all the key players and strength and weaknesses.
Morgan, you don't believe Zlobs has just written this. You're pretty sure this has been on him for months, if not years.
I'll treat it with kindness, Zlobs.
Treat it with your...
Whoa, this is convoluted. Oh, my goodness. There are factions on top of factions. Some of them have colors. Some of them are named after animals. All of the names in here, like a lot of hyphenation. Like everyone's related to someone else through marriage or betrayal.
I think that there's a giant warning circle over one of them, but it turns out to be a slice of pepperoni that got stuck to the sheet.
Yeah, you're like, oh, we can't deal with that. Oh, nope, that's delicious is what that is. Okay. Yeah, so you are able to cobble together what must happen, which is Amor de Beauty must meet with the leader of the Hunter Pack, which, best you could tell, is someone named Drake Fireheart. And so what you can see from the primer is that these two sides did not get along. Their sides have skirmished for a while. Zlobs knows who Drake Fireheart really is, the prodigal prince. Amor de Beauty does not. Amor de Beauty just thinks that he is the leader of a gang of raiders. But yeah, you have sufficient amount of information.
Okay. I think I need to confront Amor.
Amor is washing her hands in a bronze basin of water while staring into the middle distance.
Amor.
Morgan from beyond the sands.
I've come to you with a specific goal in mind. Our friend is currently captured by someone you may know of, a leader of a pack of raiders.
Fireheart.
Yes. We need to capture and rescue her, and we need to go beyond the sands. But beyond that, you need to meet with him.
Why would I dare meet with someone like that, with that brashness, that anger?
See, that's
No.
the problem with you Sand Society people. You always find barriers to put yourself between one person and another because you don't like their class or you don't like their mannerisms. But don't you understand that civility comes from communicating? And if you're unwilling to communicate, then you are unwilling to solve problems. And I have no respect for someone. I don't think they deserve the titleship of a leader.
I didn't know you knew that monologue, Morgan.
What? No,
It's in the book.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's pretty close, like almost word for word.
Really?
Yeah, you nailed it. Ugh, I get shivers and tingles. Wow.
2d6 plus charm.
Awesome. 15. I got naturals. I got 2 6s.
Amor de Beauty looks down into the basin of water, her face streaked with sand and dust. She looks up at the wall, the mazes. My leadership has taken us here, away from the people we were meant to help. Sure, the people in this wall are safe. The people who could make their way through a maze, but you are right. My leadership has done nothing but put up barriers. Barriers between understanding of people.
How are you
must go
supposed to?
forth?
How are you supposed
What
to
is it, my
empathize? How are you
Exactly.
supposed to empathize? Yes.
Exactly. I cannot be the leader I want to be until I go forth, learn of the struggles, be the hero that rises from the dunes. But until then, you, someone beyond the sands, will lead in our stead. She takes off her goggles, puts them on your head, Morgan. She looks at Trinity Winch, who conjures a pair of dust bikes, and the two of them ride off dust cycles. And the two of them ride off into the desert to embark upon a quest of understanding, which, Zlobs, is kind of weird. That did not happen until after the meeting in the Impossible Spring, but sure enough, it's happening now. Okay, Zlobs, you're doing math. Yeah, okay. The leader of the Red Sand Society must meet with the leader of the Hunter Pack at the Impossible Spring.
And
That needs to happen. And then
the
the book
quickest
will
way
end.
to the Impossible Spring is to use the Dust Way, which is obviously a divine bridge between areas in this Dutch dust magic world. And so we need Darby to ascend.
Yes. So that makes all the sense in the world. So Darby, you are here. You are looking at all of this. All of these poorly constructed tertiary characters are like walking up to Morgan and shaking her hand and like rapping their fist against their heart, and Morgan is saying kind and wise words to them. And yeah, you are kind of walking through the camp looking for a way to ascend. Do you want Zlobs' help, or do you want to figure this out on your own? What do you think ascending is?
I think I need to at least start this on my own, and I think I know where to start, which is going back out into the maze and following it to one of the corners. That's one of the, like, the trick corners, because there was a presence watching us when we were coming in, and so I let I sort of let myself just be guided by the aura around me to see if I can find whoever this is who is observing us in the maze.
So yeah, you kind of head off, kind of letting your heart lead the way. You feel a presence. You make it to a dead end, and you know there's a presence on the other side, and you just kind of raise your hand, and the wall crumbles, and standing there is the Oasis Maker, Jackson Jupiter. An angel of the desert.
I just want to remind everyone that all divine characters in the book have last names of planets. As a reminder.
I am not an angel of the desert, but I wish to be. My friend needs me.
The greatest motivator of all, the need of a friend.
Yeah.
It is the divinity born of the desert. It is the divinity born beyond the desert.
Yes.
But regardless, that divinity is drawn to those in need.
Such a good line.
You wish to ascend.
I must
To be an angel of
ascend.
both places. Yes, you must. What shall your name be as an angel of the desert?
My name is Darby. But in the desert, my name will be... Oh, this is hard. It'll be... Nora Neptune.
Yes.
Nora Neptune, Nora Neptune, Nora Neptune, echoing through the maze. A great gust of warm wind rushes you up into the sky. You are in the middle of a spinning tornado of sand. You see in front of you a path form, as if stones are rising up and coalescing out of the air, creating a pathway. You can control this tornado of sand. You bring it over to your friends, and they rise up with you. And sure enough, Morgan, Zlobs, Darby, the three of you are on the Dustway.
And here's a plot twist.
Yeah.
That to finish the ritual and to be in complete control, the Neptune needs to make a sacrifice.
What's the sacrifice?
For a longtime traveler of her is one born away, only known as a Gritmaker, who has an intricate tattoo on his back that he was born with and couldn't know what it was for until now. And Zlobs takes off his shirt
No.
and he starts
What?
glowing.
No.
I'm sorry, Darby. I'm sorry, Nora.
Zlobs.
This is for everyone. This is for every Dune. From every Hunter Pack member to every Red Society member. He glows more and more. I grant you the blessing of the grit. And I hug her as he glows more and more and turns into particles. And those particles slowly join the dustway.
No! My advisor! My friend.
He's still with us. He's still with us, Morgan.
Because people are clapping, people are weeping.
He's guiding us now.
He's guiding you now. You make it through the dustway, guided by the spirit of your advisor, the leader of the Red Sand Society, the Dust Angel. You think the impossible spring, and you wind up there. Mindy,
Yeah.
you and your new followers
Yes.
have found a water source in the desert and are refilling your water packs and pouches.
Yes.
It has dawned on you, because you've read their mind, we don't even need to roll for it. These folks have maybe 5 lines in their head.
Yeah, it's very strange. They're, they're just sort of around. And also, I was positive that after the first battle, I counted just 2 of them. And then after I became their leader, more seemed to just, propagate. As we were walking, I would turn around and there would be more behind me. And some of them, I would read their minds and it would just be totally blank.
Nothing.
A person, achieving perfect meditation.
Yep, but you don't think these people are monks. I
don't think so.
You think there's just nothing upstairs. And at this point, it dawns on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a book.
Yeah.
And you think you know the book.
It's that one Zlobs is always talking
It's that
about.
one and because you're rummaging around in his head so much,
I'm picking up some details. He's begged me to read them. At first I was like, have these people been brainwashed? Where have I been teleported to? What kind of society is this? And then I was like, these people I said, this reminds me of NPCs in a video game.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, wait. Wax Mindy threw a book at me. I'm inside a darned book. And then it all came rushing back. My brain is back online.
Aha! The thing you recall, because it was just so silly, this book in particular,
Yes.
is the last 2 lines. The leader of the Red Sand Society says this incredibly corny line to the leader of the Hunter Pack, and then the leader of the Hunter Pack says something equally corny in response. What
Yes.
are those 2 lines?
Yeah. So this is at the end of the 30th book or whatever. I haven't read them, but there's 1,000 of them.
Yes, so many.
At the end of this one, the leader of the Red Sands says something like, "I think it's time we set our differences aside, young prince." And then the other leader says, "This is a lesson I should have learned long ago," which feels a little preachy, but I won't yuck his yum. Zlobs really loves these books.
Loves it. And so you're thinking about this. Your now 24 followers are filling up water skins at this spring that is just impossible. Because why is it in the middle of the desert? And as you're doing that, there's suddenly this blast of heat and blast of sound. And sure enough, Morgan Woodstock and Darby O'Darcy and, best you could tell, the diffuse spirit of Severus Slobin kind of appears on the outskirts of the spring. 24 of your followers point a variety of patchwork weapons at them. But Morgan, wearing a pair of goggles she apparently acquired, is unconcerned.
I hold up my hand so that my team
Mathers.
stands down.
Mathers.
Be at ease, Hunter's Pack. These are friends, not foes.
Yes, leader.
Mathers.
Hey, Morgan, what's up?
Well, Darcy, my war angel, and these sand angels, we've come to rescue you, but also do business. I'm here to see the prince.
Yeah. So, on the record, this has been a horrible day. I have really undertaken some emotional trauma, and I hope that you can hold that in one hand when I tell you the news that the prince is dead. Not sure how that will affect the book's ending. He seemed to be a bit of a main character.
The 24 or so followers turn to you and say, "The prince is dead! Long live the prince!" And kind of raise their guns in the air and point at you enthusiastically.
Okay, now that we've said that, nobody else say the P word anymore because they do that every time and it's really getting to me.
So you're the prince?
I am the leader of the Hunter's Pack. I was endowed with this ceremonial knife after I watched him die on the ground before me, and he said some really cheesy last words. It was very annoying, but I wasn't annoyed at the time because I didn't realize it was a book. And I wrote down this terrible prophecy in my secret book, and I if I had known along I would have done that, then I would have done it before the battle and saved us all a whole lot of trouble. But
Mindy, do you need a hug?
yeah. Yes. Real bad.
We all
Let's give Mindy a hug.
Dust
It's just
coalesces around, swirling.
I grab Mathers by the shoulders and I look at her. Then, God, I didn't know you were having such a horrible day. It's time we set our differences aside, young prince.
Oh, a lesson I should have learned long ago.
The four of you, and I mean four of you, Zlobs is there eating popcorn already, are sitting on the floor of a very destroyed office of Wax Mindy, who is sitting on the other side of the desk that is toppled over, looking at all of you. Well, that wasn't too bad, was it?
No, that was awesome.
Best days of my life.
I
told you, Morgan.
You're
told
so
you
right.
Like it.
Oh my
It's just-
God.
It's just politics from book to book to book
It's
to
just
book.
politics. And they just got, all they have to do is find the understanding of each other. Oh my God. I did not
And
know.
it's always, that's the key, is that they find an understanding of each other that brings them together. That
Oh, it
it's
was
every
so-
problem is solved that way.
Oh my
We'll end
God.
it right there.
I think, you know what? I'm going to say it. Mindy, not a fan of Wax Zlobs. Mindy, not a fan of Wax Mindy.
No, the wax versions of you are currently 0 for 2 in
0 for 2.
impressing regular Mindy.
They are
I
really...
thought you became friends with Wax Slobs. How dare you?
It hasn't quite turned around. There's hope on the horizon, which I can't say the same for Wax Mindy. This was a taxing day. Mindy has lived at least a fortnight inside
Yeah.
that book.
And what's funny is now that you're back in the real world, Mindy, you are sunburned.
Yeah, and I'm sore.
And you're sore.
Which
and
doesn't
sure
make any
enough,
sense scientifically, which is even more upsetting.
Indeed.
And I have still ascended.
Yeah, you On your character sheet, you can note that you are an ascended sand angel in the Jan Cole verse. Epilogue. Professor Thaddeus Blattmasters is standing next to an overstuffed, red velvet upholstered chair, upon which sits Martha of the Salem faction. She sits still, but decidedly unrelaxed. Sticking out of the collar of her brocaded dress are a number of wires connected to some piece of medical equipment that Fox Amberflaw is monitoring across the room. Martha nods, and Thaddeus Blattmasters turns on an IV drip that starts feeding a light red fluid into Martha's arm. Martha begins chanting with Mary, sitting elsewhere in the House of Seven Gables, wearing a blindfold. They are now chanting in unison, despite being in different rooms. After a few moments, a reddish fog drifts forth from Martha and slowly takes her shape. The projection extends her arms and drifts down through the floor, then through the basement, then through the earth below. In the chair, Martha's brow furrows with effort. Fox watches as the heart rate monitor rises and rises and rises. We'll end it right there.
Uh-oh. I bet that has no plot significance.
Ooh, that does not sound good.
Approximately a month earlier, when Zlobs was bucking his friends, Mindy, 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 pow!
Yeah.
Mindy, 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 Mindy.
Good morning.
The new Good morning. This new Scorpion Saga book came out. Do you want to take turns reading it to each other?
Zlobs, I actually haven't read the previous. Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
Yay!
After school?
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Darby, 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 Darby.
Yeah, Zlobs. Hey.
So the new Scorpion Saga book came out. I was wondering if you want to read it.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
You know?
obviously I'll read it with you.
Awesome. Thank you. After school, we'll take turns reading it.
Yeah, perfect.
See
you then.
Thank you. Morgan? Morgan's not home. Cut to abandoned supermarket. Wax lob, wax lob, wax lob, wax lob, wax lob.
Hey,
wax
buddy.
lobs. Do you want to guess what came out?